Daggerheart is here, and it's looking like the future for Critical Role.
Critical Role plays Daggerheart. We don't have any opening titles, so now we just go into the game.
Critical Role officially launched the public playtest for Daggerheart, their new heroic fantasy tabletop RPG that looks to be a rival to Dungeons & Dragons. Critical Role came out big for Daggerheart, tying the playtest to the show's 9th anniversary.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This is also our 9-year anniversary. Doesn't feel a year past 700.
The marriage is still fresh.
Exactly.
And running a live playtest session on Tuesday, as well as releasing several new YouTube videos that all picked up big views. In fact, some of those YouTube videos did much better than the episodic VODs on YouTube, with one receiving over 300,000 views or something like that in less than a day. Now, Demiplane also launched an accompanying Daggerheart Nexus, providing a full character building suite to folks who wanted to jump into the playtest digitally and provide live feedback. Considering that D&D Beyond stopped doing playtest material on their site long ago, the fact that Daggerheart Nexus not only exists, but also has a way to provide live feedback on rules from the site is a fantastic upgrade from how tabletop RPG playtests have been run in the past. And that not only goes for D&D, which has had this very long public playtest, but, lots of other games too. Now, of course, it's very early for Daggerheart, but the game is certainly set up to be the future of the Critical Role franchise. Fans quickly noticed that the Ancestry choices and how they were named matched how Matt Mercer had begun to refer to non-traditional fantasy ancestries in Campaign 3. One of the clearest signs that Matt is already setting up a potential system switch. There's also a potential hint at a new calamity.
You hear...
No!
The fireworks extravaganza has begun!
In the Daggerheart playtest, the Mortal Realm, which is the world that the game takes place in, is said to be created by the Forgotten Gods during the earliest age, and were banished there when they were overthrown by the New Gods. Given what's going on in the current campaign, we could certainly see a scenario where Critical Role's current pantheon is replaced and overthrown, and a new reality is created in its stead. There are more than a few subtle hints that, if successful, Critical Role could switch over to Daggerheart as its permanent featured game system. Plus, the game seems to fit the vibe of Critical Role a little better. The game is balanced between narrative and combat role-playing in a way that D&D just isn't, and the lore of the game clearly fits in with the general vibe built up by Critical Role over the last 9 years. There's also a lot of room for creativity and inspiration, as shown by the fact that most of the cast during their playtest chose to play as non-humanoid characters for the first time in years. Watching the livestream, it was clear that the cast was delighted to really explore new archetypes and new ideas, although I will note that they are professional actors and are promoting one of their own products, so it's hard to definitively say whether that enthusiasm was genuine, but they sure looked happy to play Daggerheart. Now, one big question is how Critical Role will support Daggerheart, not only during its playtest phase, but also when it officially launches. Candela Obscura has notably struggled to bring in viewing numbers that rivals the main show, which is likely in part because it's presented very differently than Critical Role, and it only comes out once a month, which doesn't really lend itself to building a larger audience. Now, I think Daggerheart is a much different and bigger tabletop RPG than Candela and Obscura, and Critical Role frankly needs to look at how it supports the game through its streaming. Daggerheart needs to be presented as fresh and exciting, and whether that means a full-on switch, a second show that comes out on a more frequent basis with a new cast or some mix of new and old cast, or something entirely unexpected, we just know that Daggerheart will only succeed if it's really supported by Critical Role, and honestly, that looks like it's off to a big start. Anyways, what do you think about Daggerheart, and what do you want to see Critical Role do with it? Let us know in the comment section below. I'm going to say that last line again. Let us know in the comment section below.